Hello, everybody. Welcome to basically a tier list, and so I already did these, and it's because we already did them before. However, I kind of made some slight changes to some of them, where it kind of where they should be, and now we're gonna start off. We're just gonna talk about each show, and maybe some of them we're not gonna talk about as much. Others, maybe we will. I know. I'm sorry if you guys can't see my face. Actually, I'll just do this, okay? I mean, obviously, my headset can do that. I haven't really done that very much. 24, 24, 24. 2024. I'm gonna say I don't remember this show very much, although I forgot to put the video game on my video game tier list. That was unfortunate because I did play that game. I'm gonna put this show in okay tier. Okay, 16 is oh man, 16's animation's good. Definitely memorable for some things, but not always. I'm gonna put 16 probably in okay. Agent Carter was meh. This show was meh too. It just I don't know what's wrong with me, but I tried getting to watch them more. It was like whatever. And the more I watched Agents of Shield, the more it just became unappealing for me. It's like but I still wanted to see more. But I'm like American Dad is solid. I like American Dad. It doesn't go in okay or meh. It's kind of there. American Pickers is meh because I don't know. I forget so much. So a lot of these shows I watched, but I kind of forget them a lot. So it's like I don't remember much from them. Andor is well. See, the series so far has been so good, but it's not like the Mando. But it's probably leaning towards either solid or imperfect here. Or not imperfect, almost perfect, sorry. Solid, I guess. I mean, it's solid for now. Ant Farm. Ant Farm's just meh. Meh. Um, um, basically, this show, man. Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Hell yeah. This show goes in definitely, I'll say almost perfect. It is such a it's I love talking food, all right? I love talking food because talking food it really suits everything's day. I'm just going to do this and yeah, I know I'm just moving my laptop around. Okay, so I love this show because I remember watching this show when I was younger. Okay, so whenever I would stay up all night, I would watch shows like this, and especially even if they were on Adult Swim or Teletoon at night or whatever, and stuff like this would just come on, and I would watch it. Da Archer, solid. I like things about Archer, like some of the things in that show, but I haven't watched it fully. Like I've watched some episodes. I remember like watching earlier episodes of the show. Best CW show ever. And I'm gonna put it in almost perfect because well, such a better show and than the Flash because I'll talk about the Flash later. It's just it's Arfa finally ended after many years, man. I grew up with this show. The song is such a memorable song. The theme song to this show. The whole him clenching his fist, such a big meme. Um, but I'm gonna put it as almost perfect. It's not my goat. I'm sorry, but I grew up with this show, but I love Avatar's a goat. I can't. I literally am gonna put that show in goat because there's a reasons for that. Like, dude, everything about this show is fantastic because the story, the characters, the writing, everything. That's why it's going there. Austin Alley's meh. Um, Avengers Assemble is reminds me of around the time. I would say it's probably okay, good, solid. Definitely, the animation reminds me, gives me some old vibes, but I like that. Battle Gun, Battle Brawlers. I remember the show so much. I remember collecting. I remember having a couple of those damn things. But you know what? S tier. Go because I grew up with that show as well. I loved having those things. Those damn balls. I love them. I love those damn things. Damn, it's so fucking bad. Barney. Barney. For me as an adult, I will not watch you today. But back in the day, yeah. But it would be meh. It's in the meh category because it's Batman Brave the Bold. Almost perfect. Almost perfect. Bear in the Big Brother House. Okay. I do remember watching that show quite a few times. Beast Wars, I do remember quite a few times, but I remember quite little of it. But I remember watching that show a little bit. I was very young, so I'm gonna put the show in. It's just kind of a weird Transformers theme, so I'm gonna put a meh. It's like one of those shows. I'm like, why is Optimus Prime a ape or something? Why are these Transformers animals? And that's what the problem is with this show. Is like, why are they animals? It was such a weird time watching Transformers back then. Except it was called Beast Wars, and it just didn't make any sense at all. Being in, freaking remember that theme song so much. It's gonna go in. I'll say almost perfect because it had some references to films and stuff, and I like that, you know. But it's also a show about a kid that wants to be a filmmaker and he wants to make videos and whatever. It's like what we want to do nowadays. Ben 10, Alien Force. Is it better than the original show? That's my problem. I'm gonna say almost perfect, and I'm gonna give the original show the goat because it's still the best show. Regarding like, I grew up with these shows in particular, but damn, freaking fantastic. Just like the the Ben 10 is just great. Like the Omnitrix stuff, I remember, man. I remember everything. Part of my childhood. Big Time Rush is more like low time rush because I'm not I don't I barely the show is not memorable for me, but I knew I watched it, so I know I watched it. Clues. I liked it. Even as a little kid, I will love that goddamn show because Blue's Clues is about Blue and he's Blue Dog. I mean, there's no such thing as a blue dog. I wish there was an actual real one, although it would have been horrible because what a person does to their dog and dyeing their hair blue, it sounds horrible. It sounds really horrible. Bob the Builder is definitely Bob the Builder, can we fix it? I hate the new one. The new one's animation looks like dog shit. Oh, did I forget about a show in here, or is it in here? Because I just remembered it now. Oh, god damn it. I forgot about a show in there. I just remembered it, so hopefully it's in here. It's not. But if if that show was in this list, I would probably give that show an S because I know what I'm talking about. The Trailer Park Boys. God damn it, I forgot about that show. But it's still going S. Oh boy. Boy Meets World is. I watched a couple episodes of it recently, but I just not long ago. Like I tried getting into it, but I remember like when I was younger, I watched like reruns of the show. But yeah, it's about learning about life and figuring it out. But I'm gonna give it a solid. It's not like the S tier. Caillou's Caillou. I grew up watching this show. As a kid, I probably loved the show, and it probably would go up here. But as an adult, no, not really. No, it's not really unwatchable. It's watchable, but at the same time, it's like whatever. But making fun of the Caillou shows even more funny because it really is. We'll also put Captain Flamingo is. Man, I don't know what this show's about, so I'm gonna say I'm not a huge fan of that show, but it's just unwatchable for me. Basically now, but I don't think I don't remember much anyway. I'll just skip ahead and talk about Comic Book Men. So Comic Book Men is a show that I watched went back in AMC, and I remember watching that on a cable channel. Cable's not much a big thing anymore, but I remember watching this show in particular, and I would enjoy it a lot. Talking about things like GI Joes, comic books, whatever sorts of things that were nerdy because I'm a nerd, and I'm a big suck for that because I am, and it deserves. It definitely goes into in. It's an S. It's a goat because well, too good. It's too good of a. It's too good. It's just that's and I like it so much. It's just about being a nerd and everything, and Kevin Smith as well, and having a comic book shop of their own and stuff. It's really cool. Uh, Carl Two or Carl Squared, as it's called. I remember this show is about basically a man that got himself a clone, and that exact duplicate of himself, except his clone's kind of more like a dumbass because well completely he except except he had to made a clone for himself that was able to help him with his homework and all this crap. Imagine that. Imagine having a clone of yourself and you wanted to be in two places at once. Like just imagine that. Like imagine if you're like I'm tired of my girlfriend. I want to have a clone of myself and make so I can go and have sex with other women. Like just imagine, or like same with with a female too. If they did the same thing, imagine that too. It'd be ridiculous. It would be stupid. Just imagine like you had your own clone, but the clone turns out to be evil or something. Oh my goodness, the show is just it's never a good idea to clone yourself. Okay, so I'm gonna give this a solid because it's very because I mean, obviously, the clone obviously helps him try to get a girlfriend too, as well. So, perfect on his part too. Chaotic is definitely um, it's a card game that's such a forgotten thing. I don't know if people still talk about Chaotic today. I don't know if they, but it's such a like cultic phenomenon, and it's a legendary thing. It definitely gets an S for Goat because it's something. Clash of Titans is I did play a Flash game or whatever back in the day with it, but yeah, Oh, okay. This show has a good anime style. It's definitely going up to almost perfect. But I prefer the Clone Wars TV show over this. I just don't know why. Well, I can understand why. It's because they have shorts and stuff. It's Cobra Kai. Go, obviously. Best show ever existed. Just my opinion. Corey in the house, or more like Predator in the house. This guy, the actor himself, is just so messed up, dude. Like after Corey in the house, he has been on a decline. Like seriously, and I'm not. I'm gonna put this show in as okay, but I'm like, yeah, him. He's just a friggin' messed up person. Yeah, some people during like people that's yeah, I'm not gonna talk. I was just gonna say more stuff about child actors being more fucked up and messed up as they are as they get older. Crazy Quilt is really good. It's really fun and it's about arts and crafts and crafting quilts and all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's gets your mind creativity going. So I'm gonna put it in solid because I remember that was on Treehouse and I watched it. So what show is this? This is Cybertron or Energon. I don't remember. I don't remember. God damn it. I'm gonna put it as almost perfect. I don't know. Danny Phantom. Danny Phantom. Danny Phantom. Danny Phantom's. I'm gonna put in solid. Death Note is definitely still GOAT, in my opinion. Legendary. Such a memorable thing. The Death Note itself is memorable. Is such a rememberable thing too because a lot of people, especially in pop culture, Dino Train is unwatchable. Don't care about it. I don't really like it. So Doctor Who, with what has happened recently, with the new Doctor being the same Doctor, Doctor 10, Doctor 14, or the same guy. It's crazy. But some seasons are better than others, so I'm gonna give this show right. As of right now, I think towards like the last episode of the recent series, where Jodie Whittaker became, well, went from being her to David Tennant's Doctor returning, which is great. It's bringing back nostalgia, folks. Bringing back nostalgia. But I'm gonna give this show a solid for now. I mean, it's obviously it was heading into a decline, which is what I heard. But I'm gonna probably make sure that it deserves it. Drake and Josh deserves. The theme song is memorable. The treehouse is memorable. That's a big thing. But that's about it. And I'm gonna put in okay. Almost World, man. Everybody hates Chris. Solid, I guess. Everybody hates Chris because it has Terry Crews in it. Fairly Odd Parents is almost perfect. Family Guy, go. This show is just meh. Fish Hooks is meh. I don't know. I don't even. Okay. Forged in Fire is pretty cool because it's almost perfect, but it's perfect about like watching people make these tools and all this challenge stuff. It's pretty remarkable what people can do. Frisky Dingo is about this guy, but I don't really remember it much. Oh, it's okay. Forget about it. It's a Canadian show, and it's about basically an Italian family that lives in Canada, and they're like, well, from protection, really, and all that kind of crap. But it's really cool, and it's a fun show. Worth watching, though. It's almost perfect for me, especially. Futurama is memorable. It's the GOAT. Gargoyles is. I watched this show. So okay, oh man, I just forgot about. So I forgot about other shows in here too, like Trailer Park Boys. and Power Ranger shows, and that's it. I think that's the only things I'm forgetting about. That's unfortunate. Um, George Shrinks. I don't remember George Shrinks very much. Okay. Gilligan's Island is an old show, and my family tried to watch it, and it just didn't work out. So it's gonna go into solid. And okay, there's Good Luck Charlie. Yeah, Good Luck Charlie gets to go in here. I'm a member of the show, and as the child grows, uh, there's about maybe like a few memes in that show too. It's solid. I'll put solid. Gotham is almost perfect, except towards the end of the show, where they made a crappy Batman suit. It didn't look any good at all. Well, actually, probably not a Batman suit. It was probably just a prototype. Garbage. It's such garbage. Grey's Anatomy is right here. Where do you think I'm gonna like? I know there's people that love that show. I tried getting into it in a couple episodes, and I'm like, boy, oh my god, I don't know I don't know what I want to put this right now because it's gonna upset people, and I don't want to put it. I don't know where I'm thinking about putting it. I'm gonna put it in okay. It's not go. It's not almost perfect. It's not solid. It's just okay. I just can't watch medical shows often. All right, so like shows that deal with that, like House. House is about basically a grumpy doctor who, and eventually I'm pretty sure he gets arrested or something like that. I don't know. One of the seasons. Uh, but it's okay. It's okay. Gets interesting sometimes. But I'm not really a huge fan of of certain medical shows, so yeah, I'm just gonna put that above House, just because like it still has potential, even though this has more seasons than House. House has has less seasons than Grey's Anatomy. Gravity Falls. Okay, this show is memorable. People forget about this show, and a lot of it's called Grossology, and they're basically wearing suits with just weapons that are like super soakers, and it's about all kinds of the disgusting shit that goes on in that show. But I remember watching this show as a kid, so I'm gonna say solid. Pretty sure there was like a game for it too, for that show as well. Handy Mandy, Handy Manny is is basically a meh. It's a meh. I watched that show too much. It was like I had enough. I'm like whatever it was on. I was like fuck. I want to watch something else. And then I'm gonna watch something else. Hannah Montana. Hannah Montana. Hannah Montana. Yeah, what the way I'm saying it is just worse. Hannah Montana. Hannah Montana. Hannah Montana. Where are we gonna put Hannah Montana? We're gonna put it in the GOAT, the S, the almost good, solid. Okay, me. It's gonna be in almost perfect. What do you gotta say? I like that show because I did. Okay, all right. Like I remember some characters in that show, and they talked about Coldplay once in that show. I remember that episode. I don't know what it was called though. What I watched girl shows too. He-Man, Masters of the Universe. More like more like Zero Masters of a Universe. But it deserves a solid because it's not. I remember that show. Boy. Hoarders is disgusting, but it's better to just clean that shit up. It's an okay. People might say it's unwatchable. It gives you an understanding of what a hoarder is. Though in Minecraft there's hoarders a lot. Yeah, you can hoard in Minecraft a lot too, and it happens. iCarly is whatever, it's solid. They brought in Fred though, so that's cool. Invader Zim, Invader Zim's okay. This show, perfect. Jesse's man. The Kardashians are unwatchable. I don't give a shit about. I've watched that show before, and I would never watch that show again. Not, I'm not a big fan of the Kardashians, like Kanye. Except I'm not a fan of Kanye either. I don't like any of them. I don't like Kanye either because of his recent shit, the stuff that he said. It's not acceptable, man. His behavior is really unacceptable. Kenobi, Obi-Wan Kenobi. The Kenobi show probably deserves a. It's almost perfect. It. People are gonna be like, wait, no. I'm just gonna put it. I'm gonna put it in solid. Solid show. For certain things I liked in it. Kick Bukowski is meh. Kicking it is like the Cobra Kai of pre Cobra Kai, but it's not. What's more sitcom Cobra Kai, and it doesn't have that serious tone to it, so it's gonna be like. I'm gonna put an okay. Kid versus Cat is dull, kind of meh. Kim Impossible. No, I don't know if anybody's watched Kim Impossible, but I watched it too. So Kim Impossible is like the equivalent of Tomb Raider, but except she's a high schooler, so she's almost perfect. Lazy Town is part of my childhood. That song is like okay, I remember that song. I feel bad. Oh, like rest in peace, that guy that passed away. So I'm gonna put in solid. Lee versus Evil's meh. Uh, Life with Derek. I remember Life with Derek. Pretty much. I think it was like where it's about. I think the sister and the brother are teenagers, and I think the sibling is a lot younger. No, they had two siblings or three. I. I don't remember. It's been so long since I watched some shows from the past. And I'm gonna put this show probably. It's about a family, really. So I'm gonna put it. Oh yeah, I'm gonna put it okay. Lizzie McGuire, okay. Lost is. Lost is. Now I only watched one episode of Lost, and I never watched any more. Although I should. I should have watched it more, but the the first episode was memorable because it's obviously about when they crashed in the island and a lot of things happen. But it has to all come down to the first episode. And the first episode was solid, so yeah, I'll say the series would be solid in my opinion. Malcolm in the Middle. Yes, no, maybe. I remember that song. I remember that theme so much. I remember like some episodes, especially like with Dewey, the Dewey episode where he's like playing with Legos and stuff. And I remember that one, to be honest. And he's like, it's one of my fun episodes, I think. But there's other episodes to it. I like Bryan Cranston as the dad because he still reminds me of Walter White, and a lot of that it is such just shows goat. It's goat because of all these things. You have the dad who's now secretly a meth man, and he's basically secretly. I just love the idea of that. Like, just imagine you had a plot twist. The dad was secretly Walter White the whole time. Like Walter White had a second family. Just imagine that. Oh, it'd be weird. Uh, Martin Mystery is it has the same cartoon style as Totally Spies, which is also later on the list. And I'm gonna put Martin Mysteries as it's kind of like a it's kind of a I'm gonna put it in solid. Maxim Ruby's meh. What show is this? I forget. It's like Metal Apocalypse. I remember this show as a crap ton. Literally. Like they would just do like cat concerts and all this stuff. But I kind of do remember the cartoons. I don't remember the characters' names, but I remember kind of it. I'll put it okay. Miami Vice is definitely go. Mickey Mouse Calypso's. Mickey Mouse Clubhouse is a goat. I love that show because honestly, I watched it whenever it was on. I watched it. I didn't mind it at all. I liked it a lot compared to other shows that are kid shows that I watched when I was younger. We have Moral Oral, which I think is an adult show where it has to deal with religion. And the dad's an asshole and he's an alcoholic, and he abuses his son in the show. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. I don't know. I don't remember what canceled that show, so I don't remember. But I'm gonna put this show as an okay show. Mr. Young is okay. Uh, uh, Mystery Hunters. Oh yeah, Mystery Hunters. Oh yeah, such a memorable show about like Dracula and all that stuff. Poltergeist, interesting. But I'm gonna say it's a good for live action TV, so I'll put solid instead of not solid. Okay. Mythbusters is basically about myth busting, which is cool. I appreciate the whole idea of myth busting. Solid, I guess. The Naruto series. Naruto. Okay. Because I already ranked these before, so it doesn't matter. So guess what? They're just gonna go random again. Naruto, the first Naruto. It's not goat. It feels like it's goat, but it's not. Nah, it's fucking goat. It's Shippuden is like underneath that. Um, Ned's Flashback School Survivor Guide. I'm ready to talk about Ned right now. This show, I remember watching this show when I was younger, and back when I was in grade 4, I tried to replicate his book by basically trying to put tips in it and all that stuff. And I was a young kid that really was obsessed with that show. And I was not joking. I was not joking at all. Because I actually used to own a book that was basically filled with tips. And I would basically write these tips down in every single basically page, and I would just it was just and I ended up losing that book, so it was kind of sad because it had everything in it that I had, and I was never prepared for high school anyways. So, but the show was it's such a memorable show. It's goat, obviously. Pair of Kings, it's okay. Pawn Stars, okay. Yeah, Pawn Stars is just gonna be like, Pawn Stars is like, well, because I remember some things, especially the dad. Rest in peace. Peaky Blinders, watched one episode, pretty good, but unfortunately, I never got to watch the series because, well, Netflix, we don't watch Netflix anymore, and and you know, I wish I watched more, but it's okay. So, based on the first episode, I'll say it was okay. Phil to the Phil of the future is basically about Phil in the future. So yeah, Phil's interesting. So I put Phil in solid. It was I remember watching that. I remember that show coming out like 2 a.m. in the morning or whatever. And I remember just because I would stay up all night just watching those shows every time. Uh, Prank Patrol is like no nowadays we don't really talk about pranks that much. So I'm gonna put in goat because well I actually enjoy that show and you're able to prank people and all that shit. It was fun, really fun. Uh, man, this show is definitely because She Hulk is unwatchable for my. I do not care about this show at all. The show is shit. I can't stand it. I hate it. It's disgusting, and it's a piece of shit. It's such a big fucking doo doo ass mess. It's just like, come on, really? Stan Lee would be coming out of his grave. He would be pissed off. He wouldn't like this show at all because of a twerking scene. Not cool. Seriously. Yeah, I'm just gonna put Prank Patrol probably a solid. Yeah, Phineas and Ferb is about brothers. I like some episodes of Phineas and Ferb. I'll say it's like probably an almost perfect show. Robot Chicken is a goat. The reason why I'm gonna put Robot Chicken here is because it deserves it. Robot Chicken is for me rememberable for a lot of things. A lot of things. The Star Wars stuff, the nerd guy, and then all the things that I remember from that show. Like, holy smokes. I can go on and on about Robot Chicken. Even when I was like, I watched this when I was like younger too. Like, I was like 10 or whatever, watching that show. I'm not kidding. I watched a show like that and remembering the bok 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 the bok 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 the bok 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 bok. I still remember that, and I just watching that show is just I'm not supposed I that's some of these shows are the reason why I'm so messed up. Like this show had some censored nudity, but the way they were doing it, so I remember that stuff too a lot. Reboot, reboot, robot, reboot gets gets a solid. I'm sorry if I'm being kind of funny and all. That's how I am. The original OG Pokemon show. That's gonna go in goat. This show is definitely gonna go in okay, especially if it's called back Black and White. Pokemon Black and White. Recess is memorable. I remember Recess a lot, so it's gonna and go. Shake It Up is basically Zendaya, Tom Holland's girlfriend, and Bella Thorne, the OnlyFans model. I'm gonna give this show probably in solid. It goes in solid. It goes in solid because that's where it belongs. It's about shaking it up, shaking it up. Next, what's next? A show called Twerk It Up. Twerk It Up. I just came out with that one. That's a good one. Twerk It Up. Twerk It Up. Oh my god. Sleepy Hollow. Sleepy Hollow is okay. Smallville is definitely S. Goat. Sunny with a Chance is meh. Oh, this is what show is this? I can't remember the show name now because I know I put it in here. It's about a gang of bikers. Oh, I think it's called the Sons of something. I forget. Sons of Anarchy. That's right. Oh yeah, that's right. Uh, solid show. Solid. Maybe I'll put it here up one day if I watch the show. South Park. I love it, but I'm gonna have to lean it down because you can't make fun of people, man. Can't make fun of people. I'm gonna put it into solid. It's not like Family Guy though. It's not like Family Guy. Is this Spider Riders? I forgot I put that in there. Spider Riders. I usually am just singing random themes just because why not? Spider Riders. Let's ride them spiders. I'm afraid of spiders. It's like riding Spider Mechs. It's like Spider Man rides mechs, except no Spider Man's involved, and it's just normal people. But I'm gonna give this show as almost perfect. It's just a phenomenal. SpongeBob is okay. I'm not gonna put it in GOAT because it just doesn't feel like it should for me. It's not really that. It just is what it is. Star Trek Enterprise was. I like this show. So I'm gonna put it in solid. Star Trek. Actually, no, that show's gonna go in almost perfect. Star Trek Next Generation. Go. It's go. Original show is solid. The other two are like, yeah. I'm gonna put it meh. I'm gonna put the other one in Voyager and okay. It's just that's how the shows are for me for Star Trek right now. Storage Wars is definitely a goat because I love Storage Wars a lot, and it's just because like of the whole yep and the bidding and all that jazz, just everything. I'll never forget about Storage Wars. No, I can't forget about it. The many times I've been watching it, whatever was on TV, I just watch it and I would enjoy the hell out of it. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong Storage Wars. That's Storage Wars Canada. God damn it. Storage Wars Canada is gonna be in okay. Sorry, I just made an error. Storage Wars Texas goes in probably much the same as I'm gonna say solid because I watched that show a lot more than Canada. And Storage Wars can be. I was thinking about putting it. I'm just gonna put it almost perfect, but it would have been up here. Uh, Stranger Things has a really good season one. I never watched the other seasons though, unfortunately, because never had time for them. So I'm gonna put it as almost perfect. because I know that people would love to put an up there. But for me, it's just different. Stormhawks, who I guess people forgot about Stormhawks. I actually forgot about that show until like recently seeing. But Stormhawks is something, so I'm gonna put it as an okay, solid. Now I'm just gonna put it okay. Zach and Cody. Zach and Cody was for me. It's all about living the sleep life. Meh. I'm gonna say meh. On Deck's better. I like On Deck's way better than that. Supergirl is just unwatchable for me. Not a huge Supergirl fan. This show I do remember quite a bit, but I don't remember very much, so it's probably like a meh. Teletubbies is I like Teletubbies. It goes in almost perfect. It belongs there. That's a Ravens man, although it's about a woman. So, I mean, it's about a woman with psychic powers. That's what I was gonna say, but it's about it. It's not really much. Originally, the Avengers show is I'll say it's up here. It's almost perfect. I think it's way better. I remember that show way more than the Avengers Assemble. Uh, the Bad Batch is solid. I'm gonna say it's like almost perfect. It's not like the Clone Wars show. It's definitely not, in my opinion. But it's after. It's like after the Clone Wars show, straight after. Uh, the Batman is. This show is completely rememberable. So let's go. Because I grew up with this Batman. This was the Bat. This was my Batman for animation. One of them. So, the Big Bang Theory is definitely funny when it has to be, but it's still I still think it's a goat. It's a goat because it's a show for nerds, comedians, and whatever. But I'm like that too. The book of Boba Fett was man. Boba Fett looked like a pussy in that show. It really did. Cleveland show is okay. Not a huge Cleveland guy. Cleveland fan show. Dating guy is solid. Emperor the Groove, okay. This show is so the first three seasons were good. Right after that, just was like, if like when I tried to watch season four, I was like, I don't like season four. And then right after, I was like, not a huge fan. Like, just for me, like I'm gonna put it in. It's an alright. It's not like okay, but it's like it's not the best show really. Prince of Bel Air. The French Prince of Bel Air goes in solid. Solid Garfield. Oh my god, we're about to get to that show, aren't we? I don't know if I should talk about this last, but we will. So, talk about the show now, I guess. So, The Girls Next Door is a show that I watched when I was. I watched this show when I was younger, and I was not supposed to watch the show at all. And the show was more for adults, and there was a lot of things that I've seen in that show. It's not just about so. I watched it because of the I've seen a lot of naked stuff. Okay, all right. So like topless ladies, they were all blonde too. I was about I don't know how old I was, but but I remember like my parents like basically like I did something with the cable box, so they prevented me from me watching this show and I got caught for it. So it was unfortunate and I can never forget that. But this show is really about basically a pimp and three girls, aka Hugh Hefner and three women, which I think I remember the girls' names. I think it was like oh man, this is tough. I remember the three names. I think it was Bridget, Kendall, and I can't remember the other name. And Tiffany or Haley. I'm trying to remember the name of the last one too. But yeah, I remember that show, and there was a lot of inappropriate. There was some nudity in there too. What should I put the show? Mm, just and my camera just went off at a bad time. Well, it sucks, but I'm gonna give this show probably an okay. Like it's about basically Hugh Hefner and the Playboy Mansion and other things, but yeah. The original Incredible Hulk show with Hugh Hefner gets it's a solid. It's not as good though, but it's good for its time. Last Kingdom. Last Kingdom is not solid. It's actually perfect, almost perfect. I wish I watched more of it, but I know it was a really good show, and I know there's some stuff in it too. Because I've seen some stuff in that show as well, just like the girls next door. Oh my god, why do I have to always bring this up? It's awful. The Office is definitely the Office is is awful solid. The replacements is meh, or uh, Simpsons is okay. The The Sopranos show is really good. I still would put a go because of a lot of the show's questions and stuff that are asked. Walking Dead is okay, but they just recently killed. I have to say a spoiler alert here. If you have not uh, watched what happened recently with Walking Dead, is that Daryl Nixon is dead. Daryl's dead. He died. He got killed by his own crossbow. Bow. Really, pretty much sad. Uh, this show memorable. The Superhero Squad definitely solid show all around. Backyard Against definitely I'd say enjoyable, solid as well. Venture Bros, man. The Witcher is definitely gonna have to go up here somewhere. It's almost perfect. Thomas the Tank Engine is man. Titans is solid so far. Original Teenage Mutant Turtles is it. Okay, I'm gonna say something about the original Teenage Mutant Turtles here. So it's gonna definitely go in a category called almost perfect, and I'm gonna put this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle show, which is the one I grew up watching, go just more better. Total Drama Island is about a man that basically does experience with people. This is no, I'm just gonna put it in meh. Not a huge fan of that show, like, but it's all right. You know what? I'm not a big fan. So I loved this show, the Transformers animated show, but I think this show's animation really sucked. It sucked. It sucked ass. I'm gonna give it a meh for that. A lot of it. Original show is definitely like it's definitely going to goat because like the original. It's definitely like I like it to this day. Tron Uprising is solid. Totally Spies is like meh, meh. Energon, I do kind of remember. I watched a couple, so I'm gonna put that in the solid category. And Prime's pretty good too. I like Prime a lot. Prime is definitely, uh, I'll say, almost perfect because I really enjoyed watching that one. Because I grew up with that show too, just like the animated one. But I just think sometimes your opinions change at certain ages. Uh, Wayside is definitely almost perfect. What can you say? It's about basically school. Yu-Gi-Oh is almost perfect. I remember Yu-Gi-Oh the show just because I was like 10 or 7 years old when I watched some VHS tapes of Yu-Gi-Oh or something. I do remember. Yukon Gold is solid show. That's Zoe 101. Zoe 101 is like meh. Zeke and Luthor. So the guy who played, I think, was Luthor. He got arrested or something. I don't know if he's acting again or not, but yeah, the dude like literally went to jail for drugs or something. But I'm gonna say it's an okay show. Wizards of Waverly Place is basically Selena Gomez's show, right? But I'm gonna put that show. I actually really liked it because it was about wizards and stuff, and it was kind of like it gives me like Harry Potter vibes, although it's not really like Harry Potter related. Though it kind of copied Harry Potter, but it didn't. But I'll put it in solid for now. Winx is okay. This show's okay. Victorious is, yeah, let's say it's definitely there. And Injustice is even better. I like Injustice. Injustice is almost perfect, and that's about it. I don't have a lot of unwatchables though because I didn't really put a ton of it. But yeah, I mean this is a huge tier list. I had to do it as quickly towards the end because yeah, I just kind of had to. Why not? But that's pretty much it for basically this tier list video, and I hope you guys enjoy this video, and see you guys for more content. Bye.